Good morning. Angles and triangles, student handout number 2, verticals and adjacent angles. Angles are formed when two lines intersect. SECT. All right, so when these two lines intersect, there's an angle. That's what that is saying, okay? All right, so right here, there's 4 angles. What do you notice about the angle measures? Here's one thing I notice. Straight line, straight line. So I notice that BC are going to equal 180, and then A plus D is also going to equal 180. So what does that mean? Just look at it and tell me, do these two right here not look like they're about the same angle? Look at that. Does it not look that way? Is it not look like C and A are about the same angle except different directions? So here's what we need to write. Angle A and angle C let's go look congruent. I'm telling you they are congruent, but for now we could put they look congruent, which also means equal. Okay, if you don't know what congruent means, it means equal. Also, A and B look congruent. Which is also equal. Okay? All right, what do you notice about the sum? What does it look like? Well, what does that make, guys? When you add, right there, it makes what? A circle. The sum, of all the angles makes a circle, aka 360 degrees. First question of the day. What document declared the United States independent from Britain? What document said we are free from Britain? Which one declared the U.S. free from Britain? All right. There's 2 types of special angles that are formed when they intersect. So when this happens, there's 2 different types of more angles. So yesterday we learned about congruent and supplementary. Well, today we're going to learn about 2 more. All right, vertical angles. Let me put my do not disturb on there. All right. Pairs of the opposite angles formed by intersecting lines. All right, so let's go see what they are. They're opposite, so let me erase what we have up here, by the way. All right, let me erase that. All right, vertical angles, it says they're opposite of intersecting lines. So let me show you what they're talking about. Those 2 and those 2. Those are what we call vertical angles. And it's going to make sense to you in a minute why they equal each other and why they're the same, okay? But after today, after you know why they're vertical angles, you can just know they're vertical angles, okay? So A and C and B and D. Okay? And the relationship is they are congruent, which is, again, equal. Now, these two are not equal to the two in yellow, okay? No, sir. Just the two in red are equal. All right, adjacent angles, okay? Adjacent angles are also supplementary angles. So these are adjacent angles, and guess what they add up to? 180. These are same thing. Guess what they add up to? 180. Okay? So we have A and B and C and D, and they are supplementary, which is what we learned yesterday, which means they add up to 180. Add up to 180. All right, and the two angles that share a common side and vertex. All right, vertex means, I'll go back and let you get all that in just a second. Vertex means line, like this one goes like this. Y'all see that? I'm going to go right below the line. Y'all see how that one goes? Okay. Now, this other one, guess what it also does? All right, that point right there is the vertex that they share, okay? So if they share that common middle point and they're side by side, then they're going to equal 180. All right, back down there and let me let you copy. All right. I didn't fill in that over there on the side because I didn't see it. So let's see what the angles are. All right, it starts at 0 there, and it goes all the way to I'm going to say 50. So 90 plus 50 is 140. So B is 140. Now that we have B, we can figure out the rest of them, guys. Look at this. You ready? We know that these two make 180. So if this side is 140, what do you think this side is going to be? Right, 40. Okay. Now, these two make 180. If this side right here is 40, what is the other side going to be? Yeah, you guessed it, 140. Okay? And then lastly, these two make a straight line, A, D, and C. So if this one is 40, what's going to be left to be C? 40. Looky there, guys. This one and this one are vertical angles, and they are the what? Same. These are vertical angles, and guess what? They are the same. So angle A is 40 degrees. Angle C is 40 degrees. And angle D is 140 degrees. Now, you don't have to do all that anymore. Once they'll give you one of these, okay? They're not going to make you use a protractor. So they'll give you this one on 40, and you got to find them all. And you can know that this one is the same because it's vertical. So you can know it's 140 also. And then you'll need to, you can do the top or the bottom. You can do A and B or D and C. I'm going to do A and B. So what do these two add up to be? 180, because they're on a straight line. They're supplementary. They're called adjacent angles. So if this angle right here is 140, what is left to be the other one? 40. And since this one is 40, the one opposite of it there is also going to be 40. All right. So let's go down here and practice. All right. These are intersecting lines. All right. These are opposite of each other. And there's intersecting lines. So if this one down here at the bottom is 148, guess what this other one's going to be? 148. And what is the angle pair, which is what is it called? How do we know that it's 148? We know that it's a vertical angle. Now, guys, if you ever got confused, okay, you could also figure it out like this. Pay attention. You know this is a straight line and it equals what? 180. Okay. So if this side is 148, what is this side going to be? 180 minus 148, which is 32. Okay, so that's 32. Now that you have that side, guess what you can do now? These are on a straight line. And if that is 32, they're going to make 180. So what's left to make 180? That'd be 180. Oops. 180 minus 32 gives you, guess what? 148, which is the same thing. Okay? So if you ever forget the angle pair, you can just do it that way. All right, this one. They're on the same line together, so they're going to equal what? 180. So if I know this side is 35, what do I need to do? 180, because that's what I know the line is, minus the 35 I have, gives me what? 145 degrees. How do I know that works? Because they're adjacent. So it's called adjacent angles. That's how I know that works. All right, question number 2 for today. Question number 2 for today. Question number 2 for today. Who gave the famous speech, "I Have a Dream"? It was given during the Civil Rights Movement. Who gave the famous speech, "I Have a Dream"? And it was during the Civil Rights Movement. All right, to the back page. All right, so let's work these out. All right, they tell us, you haven't seen this yet, but they tell us right here in green, this angle equals that number. So the whole thing equals what? 117. We know that one side is 94. And we know the other side is x, so we need to add them together. I can't add x, so I end up having to do what? Subtract 94. And I'm left with x equals 23 degrees. It asks what the angle measures are. So what is that asking for? It's asking for what these two are. I know one of them is 94 degrees, and I know the other one is also 23 degrees because I found it. Okay? All right, the next one. This one, it steps it up now. We're stepping it up. We know the whole thing equals what? 141. We know this side plus that side. So 2x plus x. Now, guys, we have like terms. We got to go back to our equation mindset. We have like terms. So the first thing we have to do, okay, is combine these like terms. So that's going to be 3x, because 2x plus x is 3x. Now, what do I need to do to get rid of that 3 times x? What do I need to do? I need to divide. Those go away, and I'm left with x equals 141 divided by 3, which is 47 degrees. It's not 47 degrees, my bad. It's just 47. Well, it could be 47 degrees. Now, when I go back and I plug 47 in for x, that's just 47. But when I go plug it in, let me erase all this. When I plug it in right there to x, it's just going to be 47, just like we have been doing. But now I want you to pay attention. When I plug it in right here, I have to times it by 2 because it is 2 times x. So it's 2 times 47, which is 94. So the angle measures are, yes, 47 is one of them because it was x, that one. And then the other angle measure was 94 degrees because I had to put it back into that 2x. All right, the last one right here. Now, this is 20. Okay. It's 20 degrees. Although they didn't put the degree sign, it is 20 degrees. So they forgot their degree sign there. My bad. They'd have forgot their degree sign. All right. If this side is 20, I'm going to highlight. If that's 20, guess what this side is going to be? It's also going to be what? 20. I already know that. So I know that the angle measures of the two given are 20. How do I know? Because they told me. And then how do I know this one's 20? Because they are vertical angles. So guess what the other one's also going to be? 20. Now, I still don't know x, so I got to work out the problem. So if I don't know what they equal, how do I work out the problem? Because there's not like 180, there's not like 90. What do I equal it to? I know I'm going to put 3x, Coach. I got that. But what did I tell you it was going to equal? Because I know they're vertical angles. It's going to equal 20. How do I know that? Because it's a vertical angle of the one that already is 20. So I'm going to divide by 3. And you're going to get x equals 6.6 repeating. So what is the value of x? It is 6.6 repeating. All right. Number 3 for today. Number 3. What was the war between the North and the South in the United States called? What was the war between the North and the South in the United States called? Number 4 for the day. Question number 4 for the day. Which U.S. state was the last to join the Union? Which U.S. state was the last to join the Union? Which means, which one was the last one to become a state? I think I've asked that one before. All right, moving on to our notes. Angle relationships allow us to determine any unknown angle measures. Oh, me. All angles around a point, which is also, let's not do that without him. Let's call it the vertex. And then we'll put in point. We'll always have a sum of 360. All right, so what that means is here's the vertex. You see how they all kind of make a circle around it? That means it's going to be 360, okay? They're all going to add up to 360, okay? So let's figure out which ones we can figure out here, okay? All right. Oh, me goodness. All right. Now, first of all, here's the first straight line. We're going to go with this one to find K. So we're going to find K. We know that this one is 60. This one is 40. And we're missing K. But remember, they are on that yellow straight line, so they all three add up to what? 180, because they're all three on that straight line. So my equation would be 60 plus the 40 plus K, I don't know, equals 180 because they're on the straight line. Okay? So 60 plus 40 is 100, right? And then 100 minus 80, so it's 100 plus K equals 180. And then subtract your 100, and you're going to get K equals 80. So I know K equals 80 degrees. All right, now that I know K equals 80 degrees, I know these two, M and K, and this one's 80, by the way, they're on a straight line. And if K is 80, what is M going to be? What's left? 100, okay? So to find M, I would do K plus M equals 180. And then just subtract 180 from both sides, or 80, excuse me. And you're left with M equals 100 degrees. Now, they didn't ask for P, but let's go ahead and find P because we can. If this was 100, I told you they all equaled, the whole thing equaled what? 360. So now all you need to do is add them all up and then subtract by minus 360, and then you'll find P. Watch. M is 100, K is 80, whatever this one is 40, and then 60. Add all of those up and you get 280. So what is P going to be? If the whole circle's 360, everything else adds up to 280. What is left to BP, 80 degrees. So, guess what? Let me erase this. So guess what? These two were vertical angles because they are the same thing and they're across from each other. So if it asks you which two are vertical angles, you would be able to tell me, K and P. Because they are the same thing and they're across from each other. They're catty-conquered. All right, number 7. Again, the whole thing equals 180. We know that this one equals 90. How do I know that? Because it's got that little box, you know, that I told you is a right angle. So if that one's 90, we know the line is going to be 180. So we know that we have 32, 90, and G. And we know that those add up to 180. So I have 32 plus 90 plus, I don't know, X equals 180. And then I need to solve that just like I have. I need to add these two and then subtract that from 180. So it would be 32 plus 90. So that would be 122 plus X equals 180. And then I would subtract. And you would get X equals 58 degrees. All right, now that I know G is 58, so I know this is 90. I know this is 58. What is J going to be? Well, I know this is a straight line. So if this side is 58, what do I need to do? You're right, I need to subtract. So it's going to be 58 plus J equals 180. And then just subtract 58, and J is going to equal 122 degrees. All right, last one. We just need to find Z this time. Again, we know the whole thing equals 360 if we need to find it, but we don't need that. All we need is find this line. We know whatever's on this line adds up to 180. So which three are on this line? That one, Z, and that one. Those three are going to add up to 180. How do I know that? Because they are on a straight line together. So we have 29 plus Z. You could use X if you want to. I don't care. Plus 112 equals 180. Again, I'll write it over here just to work it out so you see it, because you do have to be able to work equations. All right, so you're going to add these up. And when you do that, you're going to get 141 plus Z equals 180. Subtract 141 from both sides. Those go away. I'm left with Z equals 39. So the answer is 39 degrees. All right, question number 5. Question number 5 for today. What purchase doubled the size of the United States in 1803? Which purchase doubled the size of the United States in 1803? Number 6. What was the name of the ship that brought the Pilgrims to America in 1620? What was the name of the ship that brought the Pilgrims to America in 1620? Number 7. Who's the president on the $5 bill? Who's the president on the $5 bill? And number 8, last one. What was the name of the first 10 amendments in the U.S. Constitution? What is the name of the first 10 amendments in the United States Constitution? All right, it's all the fat guy in the back has got. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Adios.